All right, as we look into marketing, now we have a lot of gestures we do. If you watch my Facebook Live things, anytime I have a question, I go like this, all right, we have a question. That's a signal to my video editor that's a question, so we can scan the whole video and just look for these things. And then after I answer the question, I go like that. That's a mark for him to know that the video, that it's ending, so we'll take that and that goes on YouTube. And we have a link to my website from that. So everything, you try to multitask as much as you can and work on these little signals. And James, you've gotten good at that. I noticed with the clapping, you make a little, that makes spikes the audio so you know when to cut things. So a lot of little tricks you learn to make life easier. But that's semi-advanced, so we will talk about that in the class. But marketing, so you may be listening to all this so far and thinking, okay, let's see, great, you said branding, I can do that. Products, I know what to do, I know what I want to do. Production, yeah, I can do that. How the heck do I sell this stuff though? Who's gonna buy it? I mean, doesn't Dr. Steve T. Jones dominate the market? Look at all these other hypnotherapists. Aren't they already out there? Don't they own the world? Don't they dominate everything? How am I going to fit in? Anyone held up there at that point? How are you going to fit in? Okay, where's the room for you? Where's the payoff for you? Where's your market? Well, I don't know if anyone has this statistic. I don't, but there are a lot of people born every day in the world. And this life thing is moving along. So there are people who are becoming 18 every day, who can purchase your stuff. And so, I mean, every day. So we have a bunch of people born, a bunch of people turning 18, a bunch of people becoming adults, a bunch of people running into challenges, a bunch of people getting divorces, a bunch of people becoming alcoholics and coming to terms with it, a bunch of people realizing that they're gamblers and they need to come to terms with it, or what I'm sure none of you are gamblers. But you want to look at the reality of the situation, which is that this is not a stagnant pool of people that we're marketing to. The people I'm marketing to and that I marketed to in like the year 2000 when we first started getting involved online, those people have been, not all of them have been replaced, but they've been at least added to. That pool of people has changed. It's not the same group of people. I was reading something yesterday about talking about the S&P 500, the Standard & Poor's 500, the top 500 companies in America, and they're talking about the studies about how they looked at them like in the 70s and now, and someone pointed out, which I think is brilliant and makes perfect sense, it's not the same data because the companies change. As companies start to be no good anymore, they get kicked out of the S&P 500. And as companies start to be good, they get put in the S&P 500. It's a different set of people. So realize that. You're just showing up on the scene, but so are a lot of other people who are your potential customers, who have never heard of me, who have never heard of any of my competitors. I don't like to look at them as that, but you may. Any people who are also selling hypnosis things, they've never heard of these people, and they've never heard of you. So you have just as much of a chance showing up in their lives as the person with the answer as any of us do, because this pool of people is being replaced all the time. So that's good, but still you're probably wondering, how do I get a hold of them? Well, I recommend not spending much money at all on marketing because you don't need to. I mean, what are you going to spend it on? You could name a bunch of things, and people will be glad to take your money and spend it on things. And we at my level we do spend a little bit. We cap it at about $15,000 a month. We spend on marketing, but we're after a different category of marketing. We do what's called media spends. So we're buying certain things. You don't need to do that. And we wouldn't need to do that if we didn't want to get to the next level. But we're talking about, when you get into the millions, when you're just looking for maybe $10,000 a month income, if that would sound good to you, or $5,000 or even $1,000, you don't need to spend money to do that. That's not something you need to spend money on if that's all you're after. Because we have YouTube. You do videos, you put them on YouTube. What we're doing right now, it's going on YouTube. And there's going to be a link at the bottom of that video to my website to opt into my email list. Then what's going to happen? I think you guys know that people are going to hear from me. And they're going to hear my offerings. They're going to hear what I'm offering. And it's all free. This is a volunteer. Thank you very much for filming. That's free. Putting it on YouTube, that's free. The website's already built, product's already made, so there's no expense. So everything that you do can be can be part of your money machine, can be part of making you money and getting you popular and building your credibility, why not put a new YouTube video out every day of your life? I do, and I'm already successful. Why do I do that? Why does McDonald's advertise? Everyone knows what McDonald's is. Why do they advertise all the time? Why is there constant advertising for McDonald's? Because they want to stay in your face, and they realize that these new people are coming along who have never heard of them. They get these children they need to indoctrinate, and they need to tell them about McDonald's. And they know that. They have these people already, yeah, but there are new people coming that haven't heard of McDonald's. They're just learning how to talk. Let's get them talking about McDonald's. Well, let's get these new people talking about you. Where are they going? They're going to social media. McDonald's has a huge budget. Doesn't matter. You have access to free social media. When I got started, we didn't have any of that. In order to get the kind of exposure that you guys can get today, if you put a video up, I would have had to pay, when I started, probably $50,000 to $100,000 for that. Thank you very much. About $50,000 to $100,000 for that, just to get, you put one video up on YouTube for that kind of global exposure. Easily, that would have cost $50,000 to $100,000. It would have had to be produced. It would have had to be distributed around the world somehow, and then people around the world would have to see it. That wasn't even available when I started. There really are no excuses. This stuff is free. Social media is free. If you don't have a Facebook fan page, get one. In the class, we're going to talk more about that. We're going to talk more specifically about how to market it. Put a link on there that you can go back to your website so they can start getting your emails. If you don't know how to set up email autoresponders, again, find a 12-year-old, go on Fiverr, they'll set it up for you. Aweber is good, Net Atlantic is good. I still use Constant Contact because I've had them for so long, but it's not considered an industry leader by any means, but they still have the functionality, and I still keep them because I have my original list on there. But there are always these new email servers, and they're competitive, so they're going to offer you a good price. And you want to build your email list. That is, and then I'm not able to show it now, but then you get into split testing, which is more advanced. We'll talk about that in the class. Split testing is where you look at two different things and you find out what people actually click on. Richard Nongard and I did something where we hypnotized, we got some attractive young ladies and hypnotized them because we know that that's helpful for YouTube. YouTube likes that. Richard and I go on there and very few clicks. Richard and I talking, he says, okay, 5 clicks maybe. But we get an attractive lady sitting between us, we'll get 3,000 clicks. It's a miracle. And so you do what works. But then you want to look at the data. You want to get them to a website, and it doesn't really matter how much they click on it. Are they actually buying something? So that's where split testing comes in. That's an advanced topic, I know. But when you look at split testing, you want to look at, okay, I've got this picture versus this picture. I've got a web page with this picture versus a web page with this picture. Which one are they actually buying from? And so that's very simple to do. That's not something I have time to get into now, but that's something very simple to do. So we're always looking at that. And the split test I was going to show you today, but I won't be able to. We look at that and we get the results, and it's a number. This is a data-driven industry. It doesn't matter what you think or what you feel or what you suspect might be true. What matters is the numbers. What matters is the data. When you have data that you can look at, that's what you need to go with. This is a data-driven business. So start out with your gut feeling. What do I think will sell? What am I good at? I'm going to put that out there. That's my gut feeling. But then you need to take a look at the numbers. And a lot of people don't want to look at numbers. A lot of people are like, it doesn't matter. It's going to work eventually. It's going to work eventually. And I can look at the numbers and see if it's broken or not. That's what I'll be doing in the class. I'll be looking at people's stuff and seeing if it's broken or not. And usually it's just a little tweak you do. A little tweak can make the difference between no money and a whole bunch of money. Because maybe there's something that you haven't looked at because you don't know where to look, or you don't know what should be done there, or what could be done there. So a lot of times you just have a website that's working already. I have 10 minutes left. Thank you. And I'm going to stop now for questions, and you just don't know what to do to make it right.